There was a medieval farmer named Thomas who lived in a small village with his wife and 2 children. They lived a simple and happy life, tending to their farm and livestock. Unlike most couples of their time, Thomas and his wife married for love, not status, thus the simple life of a farmer was all they could have. One day, while Thomas was away selling his goods at the market, a group of bandits raided his village. The bandits were ruthless and killed many of the villagers, including Thomas's wife and children. Thomas returning home with a cart hauled by a donkey. A mile out he could tell not all was right, something was wrong. There was no children playing in the field, no goats grazing and the sickly smell of smoke in the air. Thomas left the donkey and ran towards the village. All through the village, arrow-pierced bodies strewn about. Small fires burned throughout the land, ripped blood-stained clothes litter the ground. He sprinted to his farmhouse, bashing open the door and falling to his knees on what he saw. His wife hanging from the rafter and his children strangled on the floor. Thomas let out a wild scream, and then tears and then anger. He laid on the floor curled up unable to move. Once he gained his composure he pulled his wife down from the rafter, collected his children and buried them out back of their home. Thomas was devastated by the loss of his family and felt a burning desire for revenge. He left his village, vowing to track down the bandits and bring them to justice. Days turned into weeks, and Thomas became consumed by his quest for vengeance. He didn't care for sleep or food, all he needed was to watch these men die. He followed the trail of the bandits, asking for information from other travelers and gathering clues. Eventually, Thomas learned that the leader of the bandits was a notorious criminal named Franco, who was known for his brutal tactics and had a camp in the nearby forest, only leaving the camp to conduct raids. Determined to end Franco's reign of terror, Thomas made his way to the camp and wished to confront the bandits head-on. He was outnumbered and outmatched, and knew he had to resort to deceitful tactics. He spent the day readying torches, arrows and traps in the hills near the camp. When nightfall came, he started his assault. Thomas ran the perimeter of the camp in the cover of darkness, throwing torches onto the thatch roofs of the camp structures. When he heard the bandits screaming and running, he retreated to the hills. Finding cover behind a fallen tree, he let loose arrow after arrow, picking off bandits trying to extinguish the fires. After a few minutes the bandits saw where the arrows were coming from and charged Thomas. He slung his bow, pulled his blade and met them head-on. The battle was brutal and fierce. The simple farmer, now a shell of his former self, didn't care about anything but sending these men to hell. With no regard of his own life, he wanted to die, but he was driven by the memory of his wife and children and fought with all his might. The battle was intense and lasted for hours, but in the end, Thomas emerged victorious. He killed Franco and the rest of the bandits in his bloodlust, avenging the deaths of his loved ones and bringing peace to the land. Thomas returned to his village, no one to call him a hero, just the memories of his family to keep him going. Years passed and people came back to the village. Rumors were told about the farmer who single-handedly took on a small army, but no one dare ask the simple farmer.